I'm going to be reloading these cases. There's 70mm. They've had fibre in them, but they're all roughly the same. There's slight differences in brass height amongst some of them, but the important thing is that they're all the same overall length on the cases. I'll send you the load data over. I found that the Rio 209 primers fitted best. I've tried the Cheddite or Shadita primers, but they were a bit loose in some of them, so they are different sizes. That's the one that seems to fit. And the recipe data calls for Gualandi G-Zero wads, or V-Zero I think they are. Yeah, they're V-Zero wads. I've tried a different wad. This is the one I've just finished, and crimp finished as well. It's a really good crimp on that. It all worked out well. That's a reloaded one, but you'd think that was straight out the box. There's another one here. I tried a different wad, but I mean, you can see it, but it sort of opens a little bit in the middle on this one, which is no good. That one's a much tighter wad. It was just the wrong one. I was reading the wrong data. It won't affect anything. I'm still going to just chuck it in and fire it. It'll be fine. I've got CSB5 powder in here, and that's my homemade shot. The recipe is for 1.35 grams of the powder. I threw a charge and put it on my scales, and it came up at 1.34 grams, but there's nothing in it. That's fine. So I did that, and we're putting in, I think it worked out at 28.7 grams of lead shot, so it's all good. First thing you've got to do is remove the spent primer, and you also need to resize the brass, which isn't actually brass, it's steel. And you use the resizing ring. The press pushes this ring down onto it and squeezes the metal back in. If the cartridges have been fired from your own gun, then they will only have expanded under firing to the size of your chamber. It's only if you've got ones where you don't know whose gun they've come from, they could have a slightly larger chamber. The metal's expanded a bit bigger, and if you don't resize them, you'll find that they just won't fit basically into your chamber. They'll be no good unless you find the person who they've fired in or someone with an equal size chamber. So they also need to be resized back to factory. This is the pin that pushes out the primers. They drop into here on this, and all the primers are in there. They're just kept out the way. So you put that in like that. Sorry, I'm doing this a bit cack-handed. That feeds down onto there. I'll pull the handle down. Hopefully you'll hear it pop out. That's it, all the way down. But once you've done that, you find that the resizing ring is now stuck on there. So the next step puts a primer in, and this peg knocks the resizing ring off. So take a primer, you pop it in there, that way up, so it's upside down to how you'd normally see it. Feed that onto there. That comes down. Again, keep getting my hands in the way. Push it down. That ring's now loose, so you can just take the resizing ring off, and the new primer's in. Then feed it in here. There are fingers, I don't know if you can see them, and they just make sure everything gets fed into the cartridge that's got a spent grip. And this is the chute here that drops the powder and the shot. If I obviously powder that way, the powder goes down, then the other way, shot, then drops. So lower that in, hold it down, and you can hear it drop. There it goes. Bring it up, get the wad, and that chute also acts as a thing to seat those in properly, like that. Push it down. I don't have to crush it, but make sure it goes down firm with a little pressure. Hold that down, slide the shot, you hear it come. There it is. And there you see shots in there. Because this is a once fired cartridge. It's already got the crimp lines in. The front, I'll show you. This is for an 8 crimp, this is for the 6 crimp, and this is the crimp closure on the Lyalvale. And so we put it in the back because that's a 6-point crimp. And you need to adjust it so that the crease faces forwards like that, because that's how it's lined up. I don't know if you can see them. No, but they're, you can feel them when you put your finger up. There's a star. Pull that down and that will start the crimp. All the way down and up. There you go. Perfect. Pull that out, and on the last stage, feed that in. The final stage has a little thing to hold the case in place. Bring that down. That's the crimp closer. And there you go. That's it. That's fine. You can fire that. But if you look, the other one I've done has a much nicer crimp on it, a better crimp. It's tapered, tighter, sunk down. It's a much nicer crimp, and this one used to look like that one, and all I did was I took it over to this, which has got a crimp finisher on it, on the drill, and what that does is it spins, heats the plastic a little, pushes it down, and forms a crimp. So I'll just show you that now. Okay, that's a much better crimp. It's still not as good as that first one, but I was a bit cack-handed. I'm going to put that one back on the crimp finisher again. I just was cack-handed because I had the camera and was trying to show you. But that's basically how we reload with the Lyalvale, or press a piece of cake.